And there we are.
This week's episode of Here's What I Don't Get is brought to you in part by all of those things that you didn't get that you wanted to get. 32 years without getting that G.I. Joe aircraft carrier, and now it's just gotten worse, and you're getting TVs you don't want. So, what better way to celebrate the true meaning of Christmas than by visiting Best Buy this week and buying yourself that thing you actually did want? Hello and welcome back to Here's What I Don't Get. From north to south, east to west, the only intercontinental podcast to tackle all of life's toughest issues and the longest consecutively running podcast on the See You Next Tuesday podcast network. I'm your host, Ted Burton. With me today, Uncle Buck from the Great Red
Yeah.
Welcome back,
Thank you.
Buck.
Thank you, man. It's good to be here. I got to say, I really enjoyed the last episode with we got streaming.
Joel and
Okay, never
Tony?
mind. That's something else. I got to stop reading the chats this early. So anyway, I really enjoyed last week's episode with Joel and Tony. That was I enjoyed, like, it was fun. It was a lot of
That was
fun.
a lot of fun episode. The the I thought that like that was a good flow, getting like people introduced to one another, so we can start covering. Because I was starting to look at the calendar for this next year, and I'm looking at some weeks, and it's like, yeah, I don't think I'm gonna be able to record that week, or maybe that week, or maybe that week, and so it'll be good to have coverage so that the show doesn't lose its consecutive running podcast streak.
Yeah, yeah, and also I find that because then previous to that was Chaco, myself, and Mad Cucks, and or a couple weeks ago or whatever it was, and that was another like 3 episodes. It was a nice energy change to bounce 3 ways and everyone talk over each other,
Yep,
and
lots of extra noise.
yeah, extra noise, uh technical problems when South America loses power for whatever reason, you know.
Well, Buck, it's the day after Christmas here. We were recording on Boxing Day in Canada. It's the first day of Kwanzaa. How was your Christmas?
It was Christmas. For various reasons, it was kind of an emotional Christmas. Aunt Buck's mom has been having some health issues, whatnot. So, but it went off. It went off relatively without a hitch. So
Yeah.
I at my age, that's about the best you can ask for. You know what I mean?
Yep, mine was
Like,
quiet, which is exactly what I want. So,
there's that also.
yeah.
But I have
You
to I
know
have to
what?
point out. Well, go ahead. You go ahead.
You know what drives me crazy though? So yesterday, like looking at social media, and there's all these fucking posts that were like, "Happy Merry Day!" Like it's Christmas Day, and you motherfuckers can't just say Merry Christmas, or alternatively say nothing at all. You have to be like Happy Merry Day, but then all those same fucking accounts this morning, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Kwanzaa. You don't know anyone in your who has ever fucking celebrated Kwanzaa ever. But you're
No.
totally fine saying that. Can't say fucking Christmas on the internet. Get fucked. It's ridiculous.
It is ridiculous.
And like all those accounts 8 days ago were like Happy Hanukkah, and then today are Happy Kwanzaa, oh, Happy Merry Day, Happy Winter Solstice, Happy but no Christmas. Fuck you people for celebrating Christmas. Like just fuck off. Just don't post something on that day.
Whatever happened to Yule, man?
Yeah, Yule got taken over.
I know. We did that.
Uh,
We did that.
yeah.
That's what. See, that's why everyone's mad because Christmas became the Christopher Columbus of holidays, and it just started like conquering other holidays and taking their land and taking their traditions. Like, this is mine now. I claim this for the land of Christ. Screw you, buddy.
Yeah.
So,
And now they're getting back at you with passive aggressive posts on social media, which is just infuriating.
well, you know who else does passive aggressive things? Native Americans on their reservations, and look how much their passive aggressivity is getting them. Enjoy your casino.
That's why we're canceled right there. I don't. Do you guys have Indian reservations in North Carolina?
I don't know.
Oh.
Probably. I know there's a lot of Cherokee. My wife is part Native American, as we've discussed previously on the show years ago. My wife is, I think, Cherokee, and my kids obviously therefore some degree Cherokee. I don't know that I have any in me. Who knows? Maybe if they named like a whiskey, Cherokee whiskey or something, then I could have some Cherokee in me and it'd be all right.
Mm-hmm.
And then I could just make all the jokes I want and not get in any trouble whatsoever. Be like, oh, I've got some Cherokee in me, haha.
Yeah, I do know that that there is like North Carolina, Asheville area in the mountains. That's like the home of the original Cherokee Nation before they got shipped off to Oklahoma.
Yeah.
So that makes a certain amount of sense. But yeah, coming from Oklahoma, they're I've been watching the show Tulsa King. I'm going to talk about this more next week on the episode with Tim because
Tulsa,
he's also
yeah.
from Tulsa.
Makes more sense, yeah.
The show is absolutely infuriating, and I feel like they made the show. I feel like Paramount Plus made that show to spite me personally.
Probably did.
Not to make money. They were just like, that guy, fuck that guy. We're making this show to say fuck that guy.
Yeah, I feel like every time Nick Rekieta gets banned from YouTube, it's specifically because of that theme song that I made for him that I don't even know if he still uses.
It's possible.
I feel like Google, in particular, when he was covering the James Damore thing, we're like, man, the coverage is one thing, but we're just really insulted by that poorly recorded guitar riff at the beginning of these videos. We got to get rid of this guy.
Yeah.
Internal memos.
James Damore. Oh, he was the guy that had that was the Google.
Yeah.
I vaguely remember that. That seems like 10 years ago.
It probably was.
Speaking about things that like just get vanished into the collective unconscious, that the whole FTX bank thing scam, Sam Bankman-Fried, he got approved for $250 million bond, and then which he immediately posted. And it's like, it's good. You stole enough money hidden away that you were able to post your own bond, you worthless fuck. And I'm sure that story is just going to be like disappeared into the ether as we get into more 2024 election news. Donald Trump said, what about the 2024 election?
Donald Trump made more NFTs? Oh, my God.
Oh, my God. Yeah, I'm so tired of the 2024 election already.
Yeah, me too. Hold on one second, because how you opened the show brought back a memory, and I'm going to gripe about something real quick.
Okay.
If I don't knock everything over first.
Buck's doing the thing that I do to Tim all the time, where I have to like leave the set to go get something, and then Tim's just stuck there, sitting there, being like quiet, thinking, I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna do with the rest of this episode if he doesn't come back.
Oh God!
I think he just reached into a pile of mouse traps.
So you opened the show by making a joke about Christmas presents that you didn't get.
Yeah.
And then you had to go, like, in your adult years, try and find it yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So when I was a kid, obviously my this I guess is my reference. My love for Ghostbusters goes back to when I used to watch the cartoon as a child. And the toys were all the rage, like, and any kid who wanted like the any of the toys wanted all the toys. And so when the new ones would come out, I had like you could look at the back of the cardboard, and be like, oh man, and they've got this one and they got that one, and I would like look at it while I would eat my like Nintendo cereal or whatever I had. And so there was one toy that I wanted in the Ghostbusters line, and my mom said, no, it's too ugly. It looks demonic, because we were in the height of the late 80s satanic panic, which turned out to be legit. But anyway, the phrase, I don't know if you got around religious circles much as a kid. I vaguely remember you saying maybe you did. But the phrase "of the devil" was real big back then. You remember that? Such and such is of the devil.
Yeah.
You can't let our kids play with such and such because it's of the devil. So, but I tricked my grandmother, who did not know of this new stipulation on this one toy, this moratorium on this toy. Buy me this toy. And she did. And then, of course, I got in a lot of trouble when I got home, because it wasn't like I could hide the thing, and it got taken away and thrown in the trash. And I was like 7. So then Kenner had their reissue of several of the old Ghostbusters toys from back in the day.
Yeah.
I finally got it, Mom. fuck you. I have it now. It's mine. You can't take it away. You can't throw it in the trash. I don't care if it looks like it's of the devil. It's mine. It's mine, and I have it forever for me.
Your mom's gonna sneak into your basement and throw that in the trash one night while you're asleep.
She did that when we were living next to him, man. That old house we lived in. She'd wait till we went on vacation and they had locks. She'd like come in and like try and clean up our house. As like, and it wasn't that our house was dirty, it was just small and we had stuff kind of piled up because there's nowhere to put it. Yeah. She like start throwing random shit away. Like, Mom, what are you doing? Yeah, what are you doing? Stay out of my I'm 35 years old, stay out of my house. Don't come over without asking.
That is a weird thing. My stepmom used to do that where I wore this hat, the hat that I wore when we first started doing the show, and I thought, so I would get over to my dad's house, I would take my hat off, I'd put it on the kitchen counter, and then I would take all the stuff out of my pockets and put it in my hat. That way, the next day when I got dressed, I could take all the stuff out of my hat, put it back in my pockets where it goes, put on my hat, and be ready to go for the day. And my stepmom would move my fucking hat places because like she didn't want it on the counter. And so I would get up in the morning to get dressed and get all my stuff, and I'd be like, all my shit's just gone. And I'm like, where the fuck is my hat? I never understood why. Everything had to like be put away somewhere where it was inaccessible. But it wasn't like, hey Tab, can you put this somewhere else? It was just be gone.
Yeah. No, I get that, and that's a woman thing because Aunt Buck does that sometimes.
Yeah.
My place where I put things is the table. Ryan Dunn says cleaning up for women is just hiding shit. That is the absolute truth. My thing is we have this dining room table, and I'll just come in. I don't put my keys there anymore because they kept getting gone, or sometimes I just misplace them. That happens too. So it's not all on her. But like I'll just put stuff on the kitchen table. She'll be like, "Hey, can you put that somewhere else?" Like, why? It's right here where I can find it. Yeah, but it's cluttered. I don't care.
The girl that I was living with in North Carolina would do that. She'd like sequester my stuff away, and finally like got into an argument, and I said like, you need to stop doing this. It drives me nuts. If I put something somewhere, I put it there for a reason, and it may seem like chaos to you, but to me, I know exactly where that thing is, and I can go get it immediately. When you move it, you disrupt the whole fucking ecosystem. So if you've got a problem with something being somewhere, tell me, and I will put it somewhere else. But don't you fucking hide my things inside of things because you think it looks trashy.
Yeah,
and the message did go through, which was nice.
When you two parted ways, yeah. Now she can't move your stuff ever. So I will say this: Aunt Buck does not like just randomly move my things. She'll ask me to move them, so I have to give her props for that. Yeah. And she does a fantastic job keeping the house clean, despite us having two kids who just like come in the door and whatever it is they don't feel like carrying anymore, they just let go of. You don't have kids, but like that's I don't know. That's this weird thing that kids do, where it's like, I'm carrying this thing, I should go put it away. No, right in the floor. Like shoes were supposed to go in this little room off to the side of the staircase, and that never happens because it's like as soon as they walk in the door, I think they levitate out of them and just hover away through the house somewhere, except still stomping to make as much noise as possible. And like shoes, jackets, clothing is just like a person just walked in and the rapture happened and their clothes just went in every direction. Poof, gone. Oh, it's the weirdest thing.
That is weird. I think I did that as a kid though too. So
all of us did. But as an adult, now I have to deal with it. It's like, I'll ask you, like, hey, where's your jacket? I don't know. Where'd you take it off at? Like that way.
Like the Scarecrow in Wizard of Oz.
Just pointing 7 different directions.
Let's why don't we hop into some issues? Buck, what's your first issue this week?
All right, here's what I don't get. Overstimulation. I don't think we've done that in the past. We should probably look that up real quick. What do you think?
It's up to you.
I don't really care. We'll just do it again. So we just we've partially gotten out of the holiday season. It's not quite over yet. We still got one more. But as we've discussed, especially last week, there's so much commercialism with the Christmas season. I'm assuming also with Kwanzaa, big shopping holiday.
Yeah, big shopping holiday. That's why they have Black Friday.
Yeah. So, Yule still around big time. Hanukkah, obviously, everyone wants their Hanukkah cake or whatever. So you end up spending a lot of time or maybe not, but you have to go and do shopping because everyone expects a gift or you're some kind of monster.
Yeah.
And so not only are you having to go do shopping, which I don't like doing even when it's not a holiday. I hate stores.
Yeah.
Um, everyone's there. Everyone's there. And here's the thing about people. They they are physical and they take up space and they make noise and they are just generally in the way.
Hmm.
I say that as someone who is very understanding of the human condition, right? Like I have more goodwill towards men than most people, and even I just want everyone to go away. But also, stores are not what they used to be. Uh,
No.
when we were kids, you might go into a store and there'd be like a little like music over the over the intercom, and that was pretty much it. But that's not how it is anymore.
It was like completely neutral, com- instrumental, like pop,
Non-intrusive.
pop, non-intrusive stuff. Just something so that when if for some reason the store suddenly got entirely silent, the intrusive thoughts wouldn't win.
Yeah. So that's also very good for society. Let's just go ahead and props are due. So I've noticed that stores have gotten noisier because now there used to be like a little placard that would be like for sale or something, but now all those little placards are screens,
Oh yeah.
and all those screens play some sort of either ditty or voiceover, or if you go to Walmart in Statesville, North Carolina, and go back to where the televisions are, every one of them are on, and they're all playing something different at full volume.
Yeah.
So when you're trying to go look for a Wii game for your son who specifically wants this one Wii game, and you walk back to where the TVs are, it sounds like at 90 decibels. And it takes, you know what I'm talking about.
I do because I used to have a smartwatch, and I
Yeah.
talked about this on the show. And one of the greatest aspects of that smartwatch was that it had it had a camera and an IR port on the front of it, and I had an app on my watch that it was just an off button, and you push it, and it would just start blasting IR codes to turn televisions off. So I used to like turn off TVs and bars and things to annoy people. When I go into a place like
You're,
Walmart and they'd
you're a
have
fucking
all
hero.
those fucking TVs on, I would just walk through the section, just hit that button, and they would just bloop 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 bloop, bloop and the employees would be like, "What?" And I just create silence.
Yes.
And I
Yes.
can't do that anymore with my analog watch, unfortunately.
You know what? I think you could probably just like get an IR blaster on Amazon
Mm-hmm.
and strap it like a Pip Boy to your wrist, and then just be like either. Would you be a superhero or a super villain doing that? That's a coin toss.
Chaotic neutral.
There you go.
I no,
And
I
then
think
just
it'd be chaotic good because it is for the good of
it is for the greater
everyone
good.
for silence. Yeah.
I wish it also worked on like babies, where you could just like point your IR blaster at a kid and turn their volume down, like not kill them, just turn their volume all the way off so that they don't whine anymore. Their
Yeah.
parents probably pay you for that. I mean, that
Yeah.
would be
But then you blast the parents with a thing that kills them because they brought their little screaming baby into a store instead of
like
like
you had to go to the
yeah,
yeah.
you couldn't diversify, and one of you went shopping, and the other one of you stayed home with your little wretched spawn. That's what always annoys the shit out of me because like parents become oblivious to the sound of their own children,
Yes.
like the smell of your own bo, and they're just like
Yes.
their kid will be there in the restaurant just like fucking screaming, and they're just like, yep, I don't give a fuck. Like you need to wait another year before you can go eat in restaurants.
Or never come back.
Yeah,
There's that option too. Just go home and never like wait till your kid's in college,
yeah, then you can go to the restaurants again.
because then they're away at college and you're safe. Like don't bring your high school kid because high schoolers are also annoying. So but specifically in the Walmart section, there's one TV, and I don't know what it was playing. It was like a jingle that was about 5 seconds long. It was like,
Just over and over and over again.
and then below that, you've got, I don't know, there's like this is called 7 white noise generators. And I already have discovered that I don't, as I've gotten older, I don't do extra sound too good. Like it
Yeah.
does something to me where it goes straight to the center of my skull. Maybe I'm autistic in some respect.
That's why I have that same issue, and I think it's because of being autistic. I can't like tune audio out.
Yeah, it grabs your attention and it demands it. Kids do this as well. And so you'll be walking past something and it's like it's just shouting in your ear, look at me, 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 look at me. And there's 7 or 8 or a million different things all screaming, look at me at once. And eventually I understand why kids at Walmart have meltdowns now, because I want to have one every time, especially when we're trying to Christmas shop and there's all this. Well, what do you want to get your niece? What do you want to get your brother? I think your cousin might be coming. What do you want to get your cousin? I don't know. Let's go. Let's get out of here before I kill everyone, because it's coming. It's coming so much. And she's like, "Are you all right?" Yes, I'm fine. Let's finish now. And she's known me long enough to know that certain tones of voice mean the exact opposite of what I'm saying. Like, you all right, baby? Yeah, I'm fine. No, you're not. Let's go. Let's get this out of here before you turn into that guy in the car, because that's the last thing she wants to have to deal with is me in that mood.
Yeah, the other thing with the stores now, you talk about how they used to be the Muzak, right? I don't know if your Walmart's done this, but a lot of Walmarts are doing this where they've like pressed the store into 2/3 of the total footprint and built a big fucking wall down the one side so they can have a larger back room so they can start doing more and more Walmart pickup stuff. So the result is that there are all these aisles that are either dead ends or little tiny U-turns, and the aisles have all gotten much narrower to the point where like two carts are difficult to pass one another. So you're like trapped in this narrow warren of people who will just like, they'll park their cart in front of one batch of things and then they'll be looking at a batch of things
on the other wall,
and they're even down far away from their cart. And like, you just need, and you're a man, you're like, I just need like vegetable oil or spaghetti sauce, like whatever things you need for this weekend. And you got to like wait for them to move their fucking cart. And they're there trying to decide between like, well, do I get the Prego or do I get the Ragu? Like, Prego. Just get the same fucking sauce you get every fucking time you go to the store, moron.
Yeah,
I don't understand that. Just like you do that, right? You just, we need spaghetti sauce. It's the same one I buy every time. That's unless the spaghetti sauce that I get. Yeah, and unless they're out. And then it's like, oh, shit, now I need to like go to my number 2. But even then, like, you've already got a number 2 in your head. You don't need to go price compare and be like, which one do you get the same size and you get every fucking time. And people don't do
I have a coupon?
They'll just be standing around the store just like, duh, duh. What video game am I going to get?
I need to look up reviews on Google right now. No, I get that. So our Walmart has not done that because we're behind the times. But were we talking about it on the show, or was I talking about that with Aunt Buck, where it's like that's coming, where you just can't go to Walmart anymore?
I think we talked about on the show that there's going to be a Walmart where it's just like a little lobby that you can step inside, and that's it.
Yeah. Apparently they pay those like pay to shop people pretty good because Aunt Buck looked at doing it. But yeah, getting past people in Walmart, especially in the holiday season, is absolutely, I don't have an adjective bad enough to describe it. It's like nails on a chalkboard, but it's up your ass.
Yeah. I'll tell you what I really hated was, and like my whole life is that you have the store, it'll be playing whatever the store music is.
Mm-hmm.
And then there'll be the like end cap where they have the CD, the compilation CDs of nothing. And they have all the little buttons where you can push on a CD and it'll play like 15 seconds of every song on the CD to let you know whether or not you want to buy it. And so that thing will just be like looping one obnoxious CD, and it's louder than the Muzak, but you could still kind of hear the Muzak playing, and that clash of audio tones, just like, why? Also, the kids' toy aisle, anything that's motion activated, so you're like walking past and it's like, you're my best friend, but there's like 40 of the little Tickle Me Elmo bastards there shouting.
Yeah. Well, there's also, now they have them where they link via Bluetooth and they all talk at once, because this happened.
Oh yeah, I've seen those.
Annabelle walked by and like pushed a button on one of them, and because she wanted to hear what it said, it was like a unicorn or something, and like 40 dolls started shouting at all of us in unison. It was like, and again, it's, if they'd all said the same thing, that would have been creepy, but maybe a little funny. But it was like from 40 directions, the whole aisle. It was like a horror movie. I just wanted to evaporate.
The Disney has these action figures now of like all different Disney properties, and they connect to each other via NFC, and the aisle will go crazy with the when someone touches one of those fucking toys.
You see, I think the toys should also come with a little loaded gun while they're in the store.
Hmm.
And if anyone touches any of the toys, all the other toys come alive. And while they're jabbering, they just shoot you. So that
Hmm.
the people who do that don't do it anymore. It's the same with the music displays at the end of the end cap, like you were talking about, where you push the button to hear 15 seconds. The button should just, as you press it, there should be a little syringe that comes out with poison and just instantly kills you. And then
No,
like a
there's
little trap.
just a trap door underneath you, so you push the button and it just opens up and just dumps you down into the basement where you live out the rest of your life just like packing pickup orders, but you can never leave.
No. Death has to happen. Like you fall into a meat grinder or something.
Mm.
Um,
I wish so. You know how like Costco and especially during the scamdemic, they were doing this a lot, where it'd be like from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. is like our elderly and at-risk customer population's only shopping time, and Costco has like 2 hours at the beginning of the day for Costco Premium Plus members, whatever level you have to pay for to get there, but it's supposed to be like business customers. I wish there would be from like 10 p.m. to 11 p.m. silent shopping, and they turn the music off, they turn off all the little displays, and it's just a quiet store, and it's just people that just want to go in and shop and not make noise, and that's it.
have you seen that movie, The Quiet Place?
I have not.
The premise of the movie is there's aliens that came to Earth and they hunt by sound, and if you make noise, you die. So
Yeah.
just turn a couple of those loose in that store. Like they're blind, they can't see you, but like if you like walk too hard, they hear you and they just immediately come and like swallow you whole.
See, I'm with you on the overstimulated thing because I like, especially this time of year, but really almost all year round, when I walk into big department stores, like I'm reaching in my pocket and pulling out my earplugs, and depending on like what when Christmas time, I carry two sets of earplugs all the time. I have my heavy foam ones, which muffle everything. Like it basically makes me deaf to the world. Then I have my nice audio engineering earplugs that are flat response, and they're not as muffling, and I can still hear clearly, but it like reduces the overall level of volume of whatever my surroundings are. So I'll wear
um,
those a lot in like bars and stuff when I'm with people, but I don't want to be like overwhelmed by sound. But this time of year, I put those foam earplugs in. I have my headphones on over them, and I have an audiobook at full blast to just like drown out everything around me. And that's the only way that I can make it through shopping, between like the Christmas music and all of the like kids screaming and the stuff running around. Like I'm just in my little focus zone. I'm getting my few number of things that I need and getting out of there as quickly as humanly possible.
have you ever tried 45 earplugs?
The bullets.
Yeah, it's where you put it in someone else's ear and they don't make noise anymore. No,
it
so
it
the
makes one
earplugs,
one big sound for the rest of their life. Yeah.
yeah, which is instantly like it reduces it very much. What you talk about putting earplugs in, I also carry earplugs around now.
Yeah.
And this for me, this only really happened a couple of years ago where I really started noticing that like too much noise, like just I can't handle it anymore. And like in my 20s, I was fine. Most of my 30s, I was fine, but just the past few years, it's like just too many sources of sound, and I absolutely lose my shit. And so I do carry earplugs around all the time now. It used to be just at work, now it's all the time.
Yeah.
And but it reminds me of that episode from Star Trek where like they had the little thing that would just like turn off your "I hate you" response, and then eventually it burned out. Remember that one?
Oh, you're talking about Garrick's little implant in his brain that was putting out uh, chemicals so he wouldn't want to kill himself. Yeah, it was a torture device. Yeah, I know what you're talking
I
about.
don't know. There was one, like one where finally, like the thing, he just left it on, it stopped
He
working, and
left it
then he
on
had
and
to like
stopped working. Yeah.
siphon other people's life force or something. I don't remember. I haven't watched Star Trek in forever.
Yeah. No, I totally get that overstimulation. I've been on the earplug kick since college. I started wearing them like basically 24 hours a day when I was in college, because I'd be like in and out of the scene shop, and they'd be playing music in the scene shop and like just banging and making loud stuff, and then I'd be into another room and into stores, and it's just like it just became overwhelming to hear all that stuff all the time.
Gas pumps are like that now.
God, I fucking hate modern gas pumps. Where you'll pull up and it'll be like, at Chevron, we believe in customer choice and satisfaction.
Or even worse, it'll be like, here's your cheese themed news with Maria Menounos. Be like, what the?
I
So,
fucking hate Marina Menounos so much.
Yeah, she was bad enough in theaters, and now she's ubiquitous, and I hate that bitch. Because I always get gas early in the morning, like right after I've woken up, and it's 3 degrees outside. I'm not awake yet. I haven't had coffee. And I'm just trying to get enough gas to get me to work. And it's like, let me tell you about the news, brother. Like, fuck you.
Avatar 2, The Way of Water, is out in theaters now. We sat down behind the scenes with nobody fucking cares. Yeah, I've been known many times to pull my knife out and stab it into the little speaker and just destroy those things.
You know that I found this out a couple months ago. On the right-hand side of the panel, there's like 400 or 900 buttons. The second one from the top mutes that.
Ah, yeah. Knife mutes it pretty much immediately.
I mean, you do make a good point. Like, and you don't have to worry about muting it next time.
Yeah.
The vandalism charge.
Which pump did I pull up to last time? 7?
I'm pulling up to 9. I'm muting all of them. just come walking up in a hood at like 1 a.m. when there's no one there, and just surgically mute all of them. Yeah.
Well, do you have anything more you want to say about being overstimulated?
No. I mean, we pretty much covered it. It's especially Walmart, but anywhere I go, in the car, it's especially when you have 2 kids and they want to sing songs and they want to sing the different song at the same time.
Yeah.
And then they also want music going, and also there's a video game going, and also and then like I call it glitching out. You start losing mechanical ability to control yourself.
I saw that with my parents many years ago. Like, I was over at their place and they've got the TV on to just something, and then everyone's on their phone watching something separately with audio on their phone. And I was just like, what the hell is happening here?
Yeah.
This is chaos.
This is madness. Every day we stray further from God's light.
Yeah.
Through sound.
Well, that brings us to the middle of our episode, which means it's time for...
This episode is brought to you in part
This
by...
episode is brought to you by Definitely not fake news.
Definitely not fake news.
Hey, I want you to know I hate you. It's because I was going to just yank these off, but they're holding on half this random shit I've got on my head. And also I have on ear monitors under this.
Yeah.
And I want you to like just eat. I want you don't just eat the bullet of the shotgun. I want you to put the whole shotgun inside your body and then pull the trigger. Feed yourself to a wood chipper right now, you absolute son of a bitch.
I kind of feel like you asked for that one.
I mean, Roy Cooper, he has the first complimentary ticket on my trebuchet that skips you across the red dirt like a rock, but yours is next. You're right next in line for that.
I'm number 2. Anyway, well, I've got some news here. The Marine Corps, some people would say the like elite of our military. And they are continuing the ride into being the elite of our military they're talking about dropping ma'am and sir over gender-neutral concerns for drill instructors. They've been advised that its drill instructors should no longer be referred to by gender terms like ma'am or sir, an idea that a top training leader has pushed back on. The recommendation came in a recently completed academic report from the University of Pittsburgh that was commissioned in 2020. The report reveals how the Marine Corps lags behind other branches in training men and women closely together. Marine Corps Times reported it says training staff in 3 of 6 branches of the military no longer use gendered identities still commonplace in the Corps. The Army, Navy, and Coast Guard effectively de-emphasize gender in an integrated environment. Same say ma'am or sir. Recruits in these services refer to their drill instructors using their ranks or roles followed by their last name.
Refer to them by their gender roles.
Yeah, gendered identifiers prime recruits to think about it as a visually search for a drill instructor's gender first before their rank or role. So now it's not good enough that they're turned into automatons that just follow orders. Now they also need to be like socially conscious automatons that just follow orders.
I think we need to wipe the slate and just start completely over.
I do too. I'm like fucking let's have
At
a
least-
giant meteor just destroy this whole planet and see if a new form of life can evolve that actually knows what they're doing.
Well, I mean, if that happens, we won't be here to see it. But I just specifically meant like in the United States, just it's so it's just so bad that maybe if we just burn it all to the ground and let it lie fallow for 100 years and then come back, maybe we can start over.
We definitely need to do something because this shit's getting way out of hand.
Yeah. And what's
Can't
funny
call
is
someone sir or ma'am anymore. Now it's
when it's only North America and Europe that do that shit. Everyone else is like, "What are you talking about?"
yes.
Like everywhere else in the world, men are men, and it's
we're
the strangest-
self-sabotaging for some reason. I think like they've done that study right where if you like they gave all these rats, they put rats in rat utopia, and when the
after a while it
rats
just
no
broke
longer
down.
when the rats no longer had to like fight for food or resources, they started just eschewing sleeping with the females and instead started preening themselves until they were like perfectly groomed, and that's what they focused on, and that's what we were in. Like we've reached a state of there's no actual challenge anymore in our regular lives. There's no struggle to survive, so it's all just about creating face to seem the best. And that's why like something like influencers exist in social media. Like who the fuck ever wanted or thought about wanting someone to be like, I got all these products for free and this is how great they are. Who the fuck cares?
Yeah. You bring up a good point. There's something I discovered a few years back. Whenever I, you remember when I had my hernia surgery, my second one, and I had to sit at home for 2 weeks, and I couldn't do anything for 2 weeks, and it made me suicidal. And there's something about work and challenge and struggle that makes the human experience viable and worth doing. And when you take it away, people just lose their minds.
Yeah.
I don't know. Priorities just get so out of whack, man. I mean, that's what the Matrix was about. Like, if you don't have problems, you'll just create them.
Yeah, and
Right?
that's why 53% of toy sales are now sold to adults because they have nothing better than to do than to try and recapture their own childhood.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've got
And
another
yell at their
story
mom
here.
on the internet.
Yeah, I got another story here from France. A French hospital was partially evacuated Saturday after a senior citizen arrived with a World War I era artillery shell lodged in his butthole. The 88-year-old man visited the hospital to have the explosive removed, and there was a bomb scare. From 9 to 11:30 on Saturday that evening required intervention of bomb disposal personnel, the evacuation of adult pediatric emergencies, as well as the diversion of incoming emergencies. We had to manage the risk in a reactive framework, the rep added. When in doubt, we took all precautions. Bomb disposal experts at the scene determined there was little possibility the shell would explode inside the man. They reassured us by telling us that it's a collector's item from the First World War used by the French military. Stunned doctors subsequently began the process of trying to remove the object, which was 8 inches long and 2 inches wide from the guy's butthole. It's believed the pervy patient inserted the item up his anus for sexual pleasure. No fucking kidding.
Yeah.
How else would it get there?
Well, one of the German soldiers that came to France was a really good shot with a really bad weapon. And, when the guy was a kid and he just waited till now, really speaks to it speaks to how tough they are in France that he hasn't shit for 80 years.
That guy's 88 years old, and he's still getting his jollies off by sticking random shit in his butt. That's just wild to me. Not so much the what's going on, but the fact that it's such an old man doing it.
Look, man, I don't know what to say about it. I mean, I guess old pervs are just old pervs. At least he's getting his own jollies instead of like trying to lure children into the basement like Family Guy, that kind of thing.
Fair point. Yeah. I've got one more here from India. A teen in India miraculously survived after a javelin was thrown through his neck during a freak track and field accident. The freak accident occurred on December 17th while Sanadad Mayer was playing sports at the Aglapur High School in Odisha, India. Disaster struck after the student threw the sporting spear that ended up piercing the boy's neck and it went in like left to right across his larynx, whatever.
Yeah.
Accompanying footage shows the boy being escorted out of the back of an ambulance by bystanders and medical personnel with the projectile still in his throat. He's seemingly able to walk, and he was able to hold the javelin steady. He was taken to the medical college and hospital where they were able to remove the spear, and he survived the catastrophe without sustaining long-term injury. It is yet unclear how the accident occurred, if there were any teachers supervising the activities at the time. Authorities have since launched a probe to try and get to the bottom of the fiasco. Unfortunately, that probe also hit another kid. It's like we never threw javelins when I was in school. Like this kid's school is a lot harder than my school was.
I have a couple of thoughts. The first was they have no idea how this happened. I'll tell you how it happened. Someone threw a javelin. Like, first off, let's get to the bottom of it. Like, start with Occam's razor. Javelin was thrown, hit someone. That's how it happened. Beyond
Somehow
that,
this kid
anybody's
was
guess.
downrange of javelins being thrown, which just seems like a really bad idea.
Also, the person who wrote the article apparently has never dealt with kids at all, because kids will wander into danger for no reason whatsoever. You could have like 100 lanes or 100 places for a child to stand, and only one of them, the most difficult one to get to, will have some sort of life-threatening danger, and they'll go to it like a magnet. I mean, I've seen it with my two kids, obviously, but like Aunt Buck was teaching there for a while. I've just been around other people's kids. Kids are just attracted to death that they don't understand. It's like, what's the most, like, I don't know what this is, but I feel like it could kill me. Let me go to this. Obviously the kid was downrange. Kids don't understand. They don't have any concept of, like, even teenagers do not have any concept of, I am moving into something's path.
Yeah.
My daughter, Annabelle, we were at Walmart today and I was getting overstimulated and the whole place was crowded. So, like, to be a normal person, you pull your cart off to the side and everyone kind of stands in a line to let traffic go past you in the aisle. And every time Annabelle would, like, step out in front of someone for no reason. Just like, I'm going to exist over here now and block up traffic. So 8 times, I counted 8 times, Annabelle, get out of the aisle. What are you doing? And then I'm the bad guy. Kids will stand in the way of anything. If someone had been throwing a javelin, both her and Ian would have, like, dived in the way, like someone, like who was it? The Secret Service trying to protect the president. Like, no,
I gotta get that javelin.
I gotta take that javelin in my neck, like William Wallace, which is actually historically it was an arrow, but yeah, William Wallace got shot in the neck with an arrow.
I've noticed that too, where, like, I almost never does an adult just blindsided walk into me in a grocery store or something, but I will nearly trip over kids all the fucking time. And I'm like, I'm 6'2". I am like 3 times your size, you little person. And you're just like completely oblivious to the fact that I could inadvertently, if I was like walking full speed, I could have inadvertently punt you about 10 feet. Yeah. While your mom just looked on horrified, just like, oh my God. And then the fucking police would come get me. They'd be like, sir, why did you kick this 4-year-old? Like, I didn't kick the 4-year-old. I was walking. The 4-year-old came into my path of walking. Fuck around and find out.
You know what? The 4-year-old assaulted me. That was my foot. I'm going to have like I've had a small potential to have a bruise now because
I have blood all over the knee of these pants. Do you know how much I like these pants? They're fleece lined, for the love of God. They
cost me $20 over there. Who's going to pay these $20? So yeah. No, that doesn't surprise me one bit that some idiot teenager was like wandering out into the middle of where horrible things could happen to him, and it happened.
I bet it was at a dare. It was like, hey, Jeet, I bet you can't catch a javelin. He's like, oh, I bet you I fucking can.
With my neck.
Oh, that counts. That counts.
Now, the thing is, he survived, and he was walking out. He walked out with the thing still in his neck, kind of holding it. So you know what happened to him later? That dude got his dick sucked.
No, I don't think they know how to do that out there. Otherwise, they wouldn't have so many kids and all that overpopulation bullshit.
No, maybe you're right.
Yeah.
If it were in America, that kid would get his dick sucked.
That's true.
Maybe cautiously. And maybe he'd have to avoid someone else trying to come and put their dick through that giant hole in his neck. But, like, he impressed somebody with that. Like, hey, I took a javelin to the neck and I lived. What do you think you're going to do to me?
Well, this has been...
He's a black-faced lawyer.
News Network. I'm calling the police. 2 if you count the cows.
Well, that takes care of our legal obligations, but you know it doesn't take care of Buck.
Javelin surgery.
Javelin surgery. And if you want to help us with javelin surgery, actually, we're raising money because we like to throw javelins at kids. So, if you want to help us with that, you can visit us at patreon.com/HWIDG and subscribestar.com/HWIDG, which stands for.
Here's what I don't get.
And over there, we have 5 tiers. We have the $1 tier, which gets you early access to each week's episode, plus our monthly minisodes. We have our $2 tier, where we throw the random bits and bobs we do now and again. We have our $5 tier, where we do our monthly bonus episodes. Here's what I do get, where we drop the hate and talk about what's great. We have our $10 tier, where you, the fan, submit a film. You vote on what film we watch, and we sit down and watch and record a feature-length commentary. I'm making up all the back commentaries. I think 3 are out already from this year. And then finally, we have our $50 Spite Producer tier, where you get a say in the show. You can ask for a special format change, like the episode where we had Mad Cucks on as a guest. You can ask for a special guest. You can ask for a host to be promoted. Anything that your heart desires that we can fulfill, we will try and do our best to do so. So thank you to all our patrons, big and small. We couldn't do the show without your support.
That's right.
And, but let's hop back into some issues.
Let's do that.
Here's what I don't get. The holiday eye of the storm.
There you go.
We are in the holiday eye of the storm. We're in this like 5-day stretch between Christmas and New Year's Eve. And so for me, my 6 month, like the company I'm working for now, right? I had a 6-month probationary period where I couldn't take any vacation time. I could take sick time, but I couldn't take vacation time.
Right.
So the 20th of December was my 6-month anniversary. So I took off the 21st of December until the 2nd of January. Not for any real reason. Like, there's nothing going on. I could just as easily be at work right now and doing basically the same thing, which is fucking nothing.
Yeah.
But I wanted to, make it completely copacetic that I have my email turned off. I'm not answering my phone when people call. Like, I'm on vacation away from all of you fucking people.
Mm-hmm.
What I feel bad for is that my assistant started in October. So he is still under his probationary period.
Sucks to
So
be him.
he has to go to work. Today, the 26th, is our like Christmas observed holiday, and Thursday is New Year's Eve observed, or Friday is New Year's Eve observed. So he really only has 3 days, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, that he has to show up and clock in and but doesn't have anything to do so for 2 reasons. Number one, we work in theater. If there's not a show in our theater, there's not really anything we can do, especially if you're working by yourself. Number 2, the entity that manages our theater is gone right now. Like, they're closed to the public. There's nothing going on. But he has to go in and clock in for these days, and I'm sure there's a lot of that going around for people where maybe you don't have any more vacation time for the rest of the year, or maybe you don't, you're in a probationary period, or maybe you just don't get vacation time at all. And so you're forced to go in and work during these 3 to 5 days with fucking nothing happening in your department. But you're just showing up and clocking in and like playing on your phone, looking at Facebook, or playing little games on your phone, fucking around, just chatting about other things. And what I don't understand is why companies don't just look at the cost benefit analysis, right? Where it's going to cost you 24 hours of pay for your staff that you're having to put out anyway. You're not earning any money during this time. Like, all the money has been earned for the year. So 24 hours of pay just to be like, just fucking get out of here. Just like have some time to yourself.
Yeah.
Spend a little bit of extra time with your family. Enjoy not being at work. But no, it's just like, yeah, we're going to need you to come in for these 3 days and just sit with your thumb in your ass because we are all powerful.
Yeah.
And it's ridiculous. Fortunately, my department is managed by someone who like cares. So it's like, go ahead and work from home on these 3 days. Here are your 3 tasks to do. These will take you all 8 hours for each of these 3 days. So basically, get up, clock in, do the little thing, and then fuck around all day. And at 4 o'clock, go like, I got to clock out. And then when we get audited and they say, well, what did you do during this day? It's like, well, I did these 3 things. There you go.
It took me 8 hours, one each day.
One each day, yeah. Like, we work like that because we are human beings, but the like corporate overlords don't work like that. And I gotta wonder, like, how many people are just sitting around, probably listening to this episode while at work one day, just like, yep, I got this 9 to 5 job and I didn't have any more vacation time because my mom got sick earlier this year and I had to like use up all my vacation time taking care of her. So now these 3 days between Christmas and New Year's, I'm the only person in the office, just like, well, that's the way things are. Just
A whole lot of
like,
jerking off to do every day.
a whole lot of jerking off to do every day. So pencil pushers in accounting and HR can be like, you worked your requisite number of hours, you get to keep your benefits. Because that's the other part of it. Like, I'm sure some people go like, I really don't care about the 24 hours. I'll just not get paid for that week. But then HR is like, whoa, you only got 16 hours of holiday pay this week. You have to have a minimum of 32 hours to keep your benefits. This is going to throw this whole thing into fucking chaos. Like, I don't see you guys breathing down my neck when I work 60 hours in 1 week to be like, whoa, something's wrong in your department. You're working so much overtime. That wasn't a problem. But me suddenly not working 1 week, because we can't let it average out and just be like, yeah, it's fine. Don't worry about it. We'll cover the fucking cost of you having health insurance for these fucking 3 days.
You see, here's how you combat this, though. You just like bring a sleeping bag or something to work, and you just work like 72 hours. You like work, quote unquote, just like exist at work on the clock for 72 hours straight.
Yeah.
Just let it be. Like if I had to work, man, obviously we couldn't like take this week off. We had to come in and work those 3 days. But there was so much to do, and I'm such a company man, that I just worked 3 days straight. Thank you for my overtime. That'll come in great next Christmas.
Yeah, especially all of the jerking off that companies did about like letting you go home in the early days of the scamdemic. Like, clearly you guys have money sitting around that can be put into like payroll despite you not making any money. So is it really going to be that loss? Like, how big would a company need to be that they couldn't afford 3 days of labor as just a write-off? Just be like, yeah, we'll give it to you.
I don't know, man.
And obviously, like, there's probably a counterpoint to this where people be like, yeah, I hate being around my family, though. I'd much rather have like an excuse to go to work where I can sit in my office that's quiet and like listen to a podcast or an audiobook or whatever, and not have to like listen to my kids screaming. And the fact that my work is assholes, like, that's great. Like, just tell your wife that you have to do that, and then spend 8 hours just driving around the city having fun.
Yeah.
We got a tip from Soberum. It's $14.88. Says Merry Christmas to the entire crew.
Well, Merry Christmas to you too.
I don't know.
I would say cheers, but
as a comment in the comment stream, but cool. Thanks, Soberum. Appreciate that. One of these days, I'll figure out how to get the money out of this tipping software.
It's like that guy in Germany that had like however many millions of dollars in Bitcoin and didn't know how to access it.
Yeah, I lost the wallet, and so it's just gone. Yeah, so like, Buck, have you had to deal with this? Have you had like a job where you've had this like 3-day down period or 5-day down period where everyone's just kind of like doesn't want to be there? I know your job is a little more like you guys are actually doing something, as opposed to my job where, like I said, if there's nothing in the theater, there's really no reason for anybody to be there.
So, yes, years and years and years ago, all of our equipment there at the mill is automated, obviously, by PLCs and whatnot. But there are VFD drives in 2 different MCC rooms. And I'd been there maybe a couple of years. This has been a long time ago. The power flickered off. We had this. Let me preface this by saying we have a generator, or had a generator that was literally the size of a transfer trailer, right? Like, there was this huge generator. It was diesel powered, and we had enough diesel to run the plant for like a full 24 hours if the power ever went out. And that was so like, storm comes, power goes down, we're not absolutely out of power, the thing would just automatically kick on, right? So, and it happened several times, like the power would go out, brrr, you hear that thing, and it sounded like the end of the world. And then later the power would come back on. But this one day, the power only flickered off for like a split second, and just long enough to trigger the generator, and the power came back on at the exact same time, and blew up. it blew up every VFD in both MCC rooms. Now those things are like $3 to $5 grand a pop, and we have like 80 of them. So, and I remember like the power just went off, and then part of it came back, like the lights came back on, but none of the machines were running. We were like, "Hey, what just happened here?" And the head of maintenance at the time, like as he walked around, kind of trying to figure things out, you could just watch the color drain from his face as he realized that like we just had what's 80 times 5,000 or $5 grand? Like, all of the money. We just had all of the money evaporate in like a half a second. So we were down for it was like 2 or 3 weeks while they were getting all these things replaced and getting the machinery back up and tested, running, blah 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 blah. And we still came to work, but some days it was like, "Hey, do you want to come in and sweep the floor again, or do you want to go home and just burn a day of PTO?" Now back then I had a couple weeks PTO, so I ended up like taking a week and a half, because let me tell you, if you're not actively generating mess, like, the machinery generating dust, whatever, blah blah blah, you can only sweep the floor so many times before it's like, well, I can't tell a difference anymore.
Yeah.
Like I got the pile of dust I got this time when I swept the entire warehouse was enough to fill this little drink cap. So I don't know that I want to come in and like just push a broom for 8 hours and for no reason. Like I might as well just go home.
That's like one of the biggest benefits to this job change that I took moving out here, is that I moved from hourly to salaried. So salaried, it kind of doesn't matter as long as the work all gets done.
Yeah.
And so there are weeks where I'll work less than 40 hours and nobody cares. Whereas I remember like my last, 40-hour a week full-time job, we would hit the summertime and there's fewer shows, or we'd have these maintenance weeks. And boy, you get to Friday and you've like taken care of all the little projects that you had thought up during the week, and you get to Friday, it's just like, God, I got to be here for another 3 hours because I have not hit 40 hours. And so you're like crawling the walls, trying to think of something to do, trying to think of anything to do. And like,
yeah.
And we were like A-grade sandbaggers too. Like we would take an hour-long project and turn it into a day of work. And also coincidentally, we would need to run out to buy parts for that thing of work, which would mean that our lunch was on the clock and not off the clock.
Yeah.
Crazy how that works on maintenance days.
But
yeah, I'm just like, I look at this time of year and it's just, that's the other thing is like, what all needs to be open right now, right? That's, I think, what we've lost culturally with Christmas becoming a commercialized holiday, is that this whole idea of spending time with your family and it being a time of like prayer and Thanksgiving. Glenn Beck talked about Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's as being like this trilogy of holidays, one where you're thankful for what you have, and then Christmas you are redeemed by our Savior, and then New Year's you get like to start fresh and you are wiped clean.
You're reborn.
Year. Yeah, and it's like culturally, if this was just 5 days where, yeah, the gas stations probably need to be open because people may be traveling home. And sure, Walmart needs to be open because people are going to need to buy groceries.
Yeah.
But like, does TJ Maxx need to be open? Do you really need to go return your mini dresses? Does Best Buy need to be open for you to buy that PS5 you didn't get? Like,
TJ Maxx needs to be open because people eat so much during the holidays that they're too fat to wear their clothes anymore.
You got to get new clothes.
Yeah, got to go to TJ Maxx with all that Christmas loot you got in your Christmas card, and that $100 from your grandparents, and go buy yourself a new wardrobe.
Yeah, and so there's just all these little places that are, non-essential that are open, and they're like they keep their extended holiday hours to be able to get those people in there. Like, you got to keep being a consumer. You cannot pause for 24 hours to like be thankful for what you have and what you received and spend time with your family. You need to be. That's why like Christmas Day is one of the biggest movie going holidays of the year, because people just like can't stand being around their families, and so they need somewhere to be that they can like turn
Tell their
off
family to shut up.
Yeah, turn their family off for 2 hours while Avatar 2, The Way of the Water, airs, just shoots light into their eyes that they can just be like, finally, their grandma shut the fuck up for 10 minutes.
That's because everyone gets overstimulated by having too many relatives over.
That's probably also part of it. I like, as our culture continues downhill, we've just created this obligation of being around your family instead of, because like you could easily do what I'm doing and not, like, I'm not spending time with my family right now. I'll go see them a couple of days before New Year's, swing through everywhere, and that'll be fine. But I think that in Norway they have like a summer holiday. They have like specific summer holidays where industries will be shut down for a week or 2 weeks because they believe in a world where you get to have time off. And we don't have a culture that values time off. You have to be working, you have to be doing something. So yeah, you need to be at work for these 3 to 5 days, like pretending to be productive so that I can pretend that I'm a good boss. Whereas like what a real good boss would do is say like, you need to decompress. You need to have time that's not here. You've earned it. We just did a year. You just did a year of work that was probably kind of shitty. And it probably got shittier as you got up to these holidays, because as we get to the end of that year, we got to hit all these deadlines. All this stuff needs to be wrapped up.
We got to get the budget squared away. Yeah.
Yeah. And get all this stuff squared away. And it's just like, all right, here's 5 days that are just free. Just take them. Just, thank you for being here. That's our Christmas gift to you, is just an extra 40 hours.
It'd be nice.
Yeah. Just
It'd be real nice.
Take some time. Don't be here. Don't, spend time with your family. Go live in the woods. Just like fucking put on headphones and wander around Walmart and just look at all the retards shopping. Do whatever you want to do, but just do something that fulfills you that isn't this. But no, we got to get those people in. They got to hit their hours because, God forbid we be humans, because that's what corporations have become, is like they try and pretend they're humans. They try and put these ads out where they look like people and they put these people on there. But at the end of the day, you so far abstract the worker from the HR and billing and payroll things that they don't know who the fuck Uncle Buck is. They're like,
no.
Oh yeah, employee 2761541 didn't hit 40 hours this week. Why not?
Actually, I take that back. They do know who I am because I have caused a lot of problems. But I see what you're saying about other people. Yeah, they don't really care about the human connection, except when they're writing company-wide emails, like newsletters. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I don't know if your company does this, but I work for a pretty big company that's planet-wide, and we get these big company newsletters that try to sound like they're from the heart and soul of the CEO.
Mm-hmm.
Except now, I know that a lot of those are going to stop being written by a person and start being written by an AI.
Probably, yeah.
So that's going to change. It's gonna
I love when I get those letters from the CEO and it's like, "Dear Tab, this year, blah 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 blah," and I look at the letter and I read it all and I just go that email just has a bracket in there where it says "Dear," and then there's a bracket that says
user ID,
name. And then your thing generates it. This is not, you're trying to make it seem like it's written to me, but it's not written to me. You don't give a fuck about me. You don't know who I am. HR doesn't give a fuck about me. In a real world, you call and you're like, "Hey, my mom's sick." Your boss doesn't go, "How much PTO do you have?" Your boss goes "Take care of it, we'll figure it out later." Yeah. That's what a human being would do. But we're not managed by human beings anymore. No one's able to make their own decisions. We got all these fucking automatons that just have to see their little bean counters get punched up. And so then we strand people at work doing something that they'd rather not be doing. And it probably contributes to people being like, "I got to find a better fucking job."
Yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah. So this past week, in that same vein of just go take care of whatever the problem is, we'll figure it out. I've been having to train in this new position. It's not. I didn't take that position, by the way. I told them to shove it up their ass, but I'm still having to train over there, so I know how to run it as a utility. And part of that, I had 2 weeks, and part of that was this gal that I work with, who's really great, training me. Except then she got the flu, and so one morning I come in and they're like, "Hey, so and so got the flu. She's probably not going to be in today. Just go do what you can do, right? Like we think you know enough about it. You can just work the day. You know, it's only a couple of things, stuff you've gone over a couple times already. Just go ahead and do what you're going to do. Probably won't be here." 2 hours later, sick trainer shows up with her flu, like obviously miserable. And I was like, and the office over there is about the size of a bathroom. Like the bathroom in your house is actually a lot bigger than this office is. Like it's about the size of 2 bathroom stalls, square footage wise, right? And so she comes in and she's visibly sick. She's like, I've got a little space heater over there to keep the office warm because it's really freaking cold. The first thing she does is reach over and turns off the space heater, and she's like, I gotta turn that off. I got a fever. I'm like, what are you doing here? Like, I can't take the points, occurrences or points, whatever you get for calling out. Like, I can't take I don't have the points to cover this. I have to be here. Like, I'll lose my job if I didn't come in today sick. And I was like, you have the flu and we're in a locker. Like, please
That's
breathe.
ridiculous.
Like, I'm going to go get a hole saw and cut a hole in the door and install like a little tube that you can breathe out that way. So like, why are you here? Like, I mean, it was ridiculous. She didn't even want to be there. It's not like she wanted to be there. She's like, I can't take the points. So I even went to the supervisor and I was like, hey man, look, she's sick as a dog, dude. Like, why? Tell her to go home. Like, wait, like you guys have waived the points when you want to for other people. Just waive the points for her. He's like, she wants to get the points. That's up to her. It's like, oh my God, dude. Like, I'm out of PTO this year. I took a week off for my birthday like a jackass, and now I'm out for the rest of the year. And I thought that was a calculated risk. Like, I'll be all right. I can't get the flu right now, or I'll lose my job. So, like, send her, like, put her in a corner somewhere with a pillow so she can take a nap. And he's like, no, we don't want her walking around spreading it to everybody else. Like, oh, not everybody else, just me. Thank you. Thank you. So I'm going to go sit in my flu sauna with Typhoid Mary, and hopefully next week when I have to cover this, like there's no one else to cover this position, which is why I'm having to train in 2 weeks. Hopefully I'm not dead because I got the flu and just keeled over with myocarditis. So
fucking unbelievable. The lack of humanity that some employers have. And then they're like, well, people don't want to work. Like, of course not. You're all assholes. You don't have a fucking soul.
Yeah.
And obviously, oh, well, you know, we'll give you the points. Like, get fucked. Get fucked death. How about that? How about a point? I got a 45 points for you right up your fucking ass.
I was getting ready to go there too.
Irritating. Anyway, well, that's all I have for this issue. And that's all we have for this week's episode. Here's what I'll get. So until next time, I'm Tab Burt.
I'm Uncle Buck.
Catch you guys next week.
Bye-bye.
If you want to call into the Heroes Again hotline, call us at 704-750-9434 and tell us what you don't get. Or you can visit us on the Discord under the voicemail upload channel. It doesn't look like we have any Discord voicemails this week, but we do have some voicemails from the voicemail hotline.
Let's do it.
Fuck's sake. Takes fucking forever to load sometimes. Sometimes it's like, yeah, I'm right here. And I'm like, I can just talk to fill this thing loading. And then sometimes it's like, I'm going to take forever. Fuck you.
Technology is a fickle mistress.
This computer's a piece of shit.
Here's what I don't get. When people at your work get everybody scratch-off lottery tickets for Christmas, what the hell am I supposed to do with this crap? I don't even know how the hell these things work. From what I can tell, they've complicated them so you have to spend 20 minutes scratching random crap to even tell if you have a winner. I don't have time for this. And if I did win, How do you even cash them in without being seen and looking like the kind of stupid poor that would buy lottery tickets? I just throw the shit away. Great gift, moron.
Yeah, I don't get the lottery tickets as a gift either, because it's like, we had a $10 limit, so I got you 10 $1 scratch-offs. Like, why don't you just give me fucking $10?
Yeah.
At least with $10, I'm guaranteed $10. With 10 $1 scratch-off lottery tickets, I'm maybe win, like, you get a free ticket.
Something similar to this happened to me when I was a kid. Not lottery tickets, but like back in the day, cereal companies would have like little, kind of like the McDonald's Monopoly thing. Like you might find the winning piece in your cereal box or whatever. So it was like a Ninja Turtles. I don't remember if it was Ninja Turtles cereal or not, but there was definitely a Ninja Turtles style lottery thing going on. I don't even remember what you were supposed to win, but for my birthday, I think it was, my cousin gave me a losing Ninja Turtles like contest piece.
Mhm.
It was like a piece of paper that said like, "Sorry, you didn't win." She's like, "Well, it's Ninja Turtles. I figured you'd like it."
Boy, thanks.
I was like 8 years old. I was like, "Oh," she's like, here's your birthday present, and here's this." I was like, "Hey, cool. I didn't win." She's like, "Yeah, but it's got a Ninja Turtle. It's got a Michelangelo on it. I figured you'd like it." Like, well, I've already got like 7 of these because I've been trying to win this contest. So thank you. Thank you, Rebecca. Thank you.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I also hate that where people will associate you with the thing, and then they think that you just want anything related to that
Random
thing.
crap. Yeah.
Yeah, my sister is like that. She likes giraffes, right? So people they'll see a giraffe thing, and they'll just get it for her. It'll just be some piece of trash. And I will get her giraffe things, and it's funny because like I'll get her a giraffe thing, and then like we'll be on FaceTime or whatever, and she'll be like in her room, and that giraffe thing will be up on her wall or on a shelf or whatever. She'll like post a picture of it on Instagram, but then other people buy her giraffe things, and she's just like, "Wow, thank you," and then it almost immediately throws them away. And it's because I don't just buy her whatever random giraffe thing that I find. It's like, here's a giraffe thing. This also, my sister would like this because of X, Y, aspect of her personality. And it drives her nuts. And like, I get the same thing with Star Trek. People are like, "Oh, you like Star Trek? You'll like this." And like, that's a Star Wars thing. What's the difference? Like, there's a very large difference. Thank you, though.
Here's an X-Wing sticker.
Gingerbread Girl here. Here's what I don't get. When your pets escape the basement, and then you get frightened anymore.
So I understood part of that.
Yeah.
I understand the part about pets escaping the basement because they never should. Pets belong in the basement at all times, especially when the basement is also contains a little canister of CO2 that you've unopened. You've sprung, so it's just filling up with CO2 gas instead of oxygen. That's where pets belong.
So I think this one might fill us in a little bit more.
Here's what I don't get. When you're gone for a month because you were kidnapped and held hostage in the basement of a crazed 6'8", 12-year-old girl, you go topside, and you're in Mount Carmel, fucking Illinois. Ew! Tab, have you ever been to Mount Carmel, fucking Illinois? It makes Fairview Heights look like St. Charles. Jesus fucking Christ. And then, I have one missed call from Bambi. It's on the voicemail. She asked me where I left the waffle maker. Jesus fucking Christ. It's fucking cold. It's 7 degrees with a negative 25 wind chill. What the fuck happened to the world? What happened?
Yeah, Illinois is a shithole, man. Never go.
So that doesn't change what my point about pets being in the basement. It's even if the pet is Andy, just right in the basement with CO2, and let life find a way.
Now you're gonna evolve today.
Here's what I don't get. Where does the IRS get off on sending me letters about needing to have health coverage? I mean, I know it's part of the whole remains of Obamacare or whatever the fuck, but it's like, my bank account shows I have had health care, or not health care, health insurance for the last however fucking many years it's been, 10, 15, whatever the fuck. But I've been getting letters about once a month from the IRS saying, our records show that you or somebody in your family has not had health insurance over the last year. Go to this, blah, 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 and do this. And, you know, I'm just like, no. Like, I'm kind of happy that the IRS's records are so shitty that they don't realize it. But at the same time, like, why? You're okay, it takes 50 cents to print off and mail the letter to me. That's 50 cents of my tax money that's being wasted on shit that doesn't need to happen, and it adds up. And I guarantee that there's thousands, if not millions of people getting this bullshit because. And it just shows how incompetent the fucking IRS is in general. So I don't know. The IRS itself is a scam, I'm sure, as is the Federal Reserve, and we should just storm the Capitol, 1-6 it all over again, and just take out all the bankers and all the IRS people and burn down the Capitol in Minecraft, allegedly.
In Minecraft.
I think we should just build a wall around it and then just cut off all of their supplies.
Here's what I don't get about that. If the IRS is writing you letters about, hey, like you need to get health insurance or we're going to punish you in some way, you know what their punishment is?
A fee.
And if you don't pay the fee, what happens?
They'd steal all your property and send you to jail.
Someone comes to your house with a gun.
Yeah.
To arrest you, and if you still don't agree to their thing, you eventually get shot. So it's like either buy health insurance or we harm you.
Yeah. Everything
means
the government does is under the threat of violence.
Yeah. So, but there's like, oh, we care about your health. We care about your health enough to shoot you to death.
That's like, well, you know, they put in that fucking stupid individual mandate to fund that absolute horseshit healthcare bill. And then the Supreme Court upheld the fucking thing, saying that it was a tax. But what tax do you pay that's not to the government? You pay it to a private corporation. And It was a bill that originated in the House, and any bill that does taxes needs to originate in the Senate. So it's double fucked, you fucking worthless John Roberts, you worthless piece of shit. But then Trump removed the individual mandate aspect of the bill, which was great because now suddenly people aren't getting fined $750 a year for not having health insurance. But Obama too comes in. Obama's puppet president comes in and undoes that executive order, thus sentencing us back to buying a private commodity. Motherfuckers, they should all just like have fucking hellfire rain down upon them until they're all dead.
Even after they're dead.
Yeah.
Here's what I don't get. When people at your work, the government scratch off the lottery ticket for Christmas. What the hell am I supposed to do with this shit? I don't even know how the hell these things work. From what I can tell, they're complicated so much. You spend like 20 minutes scratching random crap, even though it's a winner. You don't have any time for that. And if it did win, how do you even cash it in without being seen? It looks like some kind of stupid poor just buying lottery tickets. Jesus fuck. I just throw this shit away. Great gift, moron.
I don't remember seeing that episode of Mr. Ed, so
we got the same voicemail from Andy and not Andy, but one of them was like understandable.
One of them was audibly legible. Yeah.
That's fucking unsettling. All right, we have one last voicemail here.
Let's do it.
Gingerbread Girl here. Here's what I don't get. When people at your work get everybody scratch off lottery tickets for Christmas, what am I supposed to do with this crap? I don't know how these things even work. From what I can tell, they've complicated them so much you have to spend 20 minutes scratching random stuff to even tell if you have a winner. I don't have time for this. And if I did win, how do you even cash them in without being seen and looking like the kind of stupid poor that would buy lottery tickets? I just throw this away. Great gift, moron.
So this reminds me of a story from when I was a kid, where my cousin. Never mind, I already told that. That's the joke.
Well, that's it. Those are our voicemails, and I know what the thumbnail is going to be for this week's episode. Wild. Fucking weird shit going on.
Seriously, those scratch off lottery tickets should just be one scratch off, and underneath it just says like no or
Fuck
yes.
you. No, that's true. That would be nice.
No or yes. So if you get the yes piece, like because it doesn't matter, like actually, because statistically, people who win the lottery end up dead within a few years. So the winning scratch off piece should just be the detonator to a bomb, and it blows you up and skips the middleman.
Yeah, so I can't even. I remember like when I worked at Quick Trip, I knew how the scratchers worked, but that was 15 years ago or something now. And so I assume they're all kind of the same, and that it's designed for you to like scratch it and slowly reveal whether or not you're a winner. Like you have to match 3 or match 7, or like you get this symbol or you get the little car or whatever. Because they have like different levels of prizes as opposed to just a yes no win system. But I don't understand people that buy them, because I think you have better odds on the ball number ones,
right?
The ones where they do the drawings like Mega Millions and Powerball.
What about football pools?
I don't know. I don't know. I'm not a gambler. Like I can't handle throwing away money in that fashion. Either. It's like it doesn't appeal to me at all.
There's a guy that I work with who runs a football pool, and years like when I first started there, I bought in like the tickets were like $5 a pop. Mm-hmm. I never won, and I quit doing it pretty quickly. But later on, I was like, you know what? The only way gambling works is if you're the guy who just runs it, and then you get your cut no matter what.
Yeah. There's a game that touring shows will play called Dollar Friday, where when on Friday you write your name on $1 and you put it in a bucket, and then they mix them up and they pull the dollar. Whoever's dollar gets pulled wins the pot. Sometimes they would be like, they'd pull $3 and the first dollar gets like half the pot, and then the other $2 get like a little bit and a little bit. And so I would play that, but it's like, that's just $1. And sometimes, and it was nice when one of the locals would win it, as opposed to when one of the touring guys would win it, because then it's like your buddy gets, $80 or $90, and then your buddy is like, let's go to the bar after this and I'll buy.
Or he's going to buy $80 or $90 of more gambling.
More scratchers.
And then it's just gone. Like the house always wins. Just remember that.
That's true. But it was also like, that's kind of a personal, like not like this big thing, this big scam, but yeah. Speaking of which, if you want to join the Here's Don't Get football pool, Buck and I are going to be auditing it to make sure that like it actually shows up correctly. So
yeah,
we'll be doing the Super Bowl this year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're going to do the Here's What I Don't Get Bowl, where we just have a bunch of made up teams and it's like a coin toss to see who wins. Actually, we could do that.
We could. It's just a bracket system, and we'll figure out some way to give points to those teams, and then like we'll have the Super Bowl of this fake team.
That sounds like obviously if we did that with real money, that would be a gigantic scam, and we'd go to jail. You and I would go to jail for that. Like, there's no question about it. We would go to jail, but it would be fun to like just create a bunch of random teams, and then every week have like our highlights of what teams won and what teams didn't.
Yeah,
that would be pretty funny.
That would be fun. Anyway, well, that's it. That's our episode 318. Until next time.
Bye.